fascinating, fiery. I'm not sure how many more words I can use to describe that interview because I found it astounding. Ian, what do you make of that? Following from last week where he gave, it was about 7 minutes, today was an 8-minute post-match interview. And again, it was about the match times, the kickoff times and the broadcasters. Does he have a point? Or is he making excuses here? Or is it a misunderstanding on his part?
He definitely has a point. I just think it's frustration, you know, because obviously there's so many players within his squad at the moment that are getting injured. Obviously, I think the Premier League need to protect those teams that are in the Champions League or Europa League, you know, because they're playing either Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then they're playing on Saturday, so they're not getting that amount of time to recover. They've had a short pre-season and they're chucked into a lot of games, so I think the Premier League do need to review it and look and try and protect these teams, because ultimately what the Premier League want is a Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea winning the Champions League, or a Tottenham or someone else, you know, winning the Europa League. So I think we need to protect the players because there's so many players that are getting injured at the moment.
So I'm going to try to be a bit of a devil's advocate here, but by competing in Europe, they are automatically getting more money just by being in a different competition, a substantial amount of money as well, I should add. That allows them to build a bigger squad, bigger than what a Sheffield United or a Burnley, all due respect for those teams, of course. Isn't it give and take?
No, I don't think so. I've been in this position with Everton when we play Europa League. And it's tough. It's physically tough, you know, it's not just the games as well. The traveling is a lot of things is tons of accumulations. Then you've got the Christmas period. It's really difficult. You end up honestly not training. It's just recovery. You play, you travel, you recover. You play, you travel, you recover. And he's right. I can understand his frustration. I honestly understand his frustration. I don't see why when a club is playing in Champions League, it's not possible to have automatic or Europa League to have this club automatically play on a Sunday, just to give that extra day recovery and avoid all those soft tissue injuries that we see. I don't see the problem, and I don't see why it's not something that automatically should be done.
What about the topic of the 5 substitutions? It's one issue Klopp addressed was the kickoff times. The other one was the substitution problem. Milner, another injury for Liverpool. Now, last week, he was called selfish. Klopp was called selfish by Chris Wilder. Yesterday or earlier today, he was called a world-class politician. Quite scathing from Chris Wilder, Ian. I mean, what do you make of that?
Yeah, well, go on, Ian.
Yeah, I think they do need to change it. I think you know, in the Championship and League One and League Two, that's what they've done. They've allowed teams to have 5 substitutions. I think with the Premier League, you know, there's so many players that are getting injured in every single game, and of course, you know, whether it's Sheffield United or Fulham, they're going to probably feel a bit unjust because they're down at the bottom at the moment. They probably haven't got the strength and depth within the squads. But I think unless they change it, we're going to keep getting more and more players injured. And the Premier League is the most exciting league in the world. If we're losing all these top players for a good few months, you know, we're going to be punished as fans, people wanting to watch and see the best players in the world. So I think it needs to get addressed as soon as possible.
Ivan?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with what he says. You know, I think it's always going to be the same. The players who can financially afford those extra 2 or 3 players will happily welcome the decisions and hope for it. And the clubs that won't be able to afford those players and that in truth won't change much because they don't have the finance to bring extra players in the club, we'll see that as a disadvantage and something that's going to go against them throughout the season. But most of the club will be happy to have 5 subs and be able to have a better rotation.